It's working now. I'm just gonna start it.
Among a million stars, we'll wish up there is ours. Maybe this time it all comes true. I was on my own until that day you came into my world, and it changed everything. Now I'm not alone, and I can see a brand new path appearing before my eyes, but I can't reach it alone. I need someone to show me the sky, and a voice on the wind tells me that maybe you could lead the way. I'm on a million stars, I wish out there is ours. Maybe this time it all comes true. Whatever comes our way, we'll face it unafraid, and take this world on together.
Hello and welcome to part. Are we on part 3 or part 4? We're on part 4. Apologize for the incorrect title. Whoopsies. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Very, very sorry about that. So, in the last episode, we got to the fire temple, and he tried to use some fire bending, and let's just say it didn't go out so smoothly. He just did absolutely nothing. He just had what we call a premature detonation. So let's get to the game. But before we do that, let me pull up my YouTube channel on my phone to monitor this channel. But still, the music is fantastic. You can just listen to that opening sequence, and it'll just be like the stream, and you get like 100,000 likes just for that. So let's load the game. Loading file. And, oh, all the way. Whoopsies. That was wrong. Here we are. Light filters through the window and gently pulls me out of my slumber. Slowly, I push myself up in the bed and glance over to Zach's strapping on his chargers. Why? 2 minutes and I'm already giggling. Yeah. He noticed me sit up.
Hey,
Hey,
we're meeting downstairs in a few minutes.
alright. As Zach finishes gathering his things, I begin to get ready to go downstairs. The group gathers down in the lobby. I greet everyone and turn to Amelia. How was your chat with Elder Isom yesterday?
We had a very productive discussion. In fact, Elder Isom shared more of his journals with me.
She indicates the scrolls in her arms. Wow, he just gave you those to you?
No, these are copies I wrote to bring back with me to the academy.
We stare at Amelia. She spent all night writing those.
That's a lot of dedication.
Amelia continues.
Regardless, we discussed more on the theory of temporal rifts in the elementals, which has only strengthened my concern that we do not have enough energy.
Then that definitely means we need to seek out another temple.
Do we have a lead on where to go?
Elder Issam, through his research into the elements, did mention that historically, the Gaians, the people who originally worshipped the earth elemental,
course.
used to reside in the central woodlands of Assyria.
Of course, they're called the Gaians, and they worship the earth. Of course. You can't have someone not worship the earth and not be called a Gaian.
The Kali, the people who worshipped the wind elemental, resided in the northern aerial plains. Therefore, it is most logical that the Earth and Wind Temple will be located in those respective regions.
What about the Water or Shadow Temple? She shakes her head.
The Aquarians, those who worshipped the water elemental, depended heavily on the seas. As such, Elder Issam was unable to pinpoint where the cultural hub of their society might have been. As for Shadow, that is a complete unknown.
If the Earth Temple is somewhere centrally located, then that would be the temple closest to us.
Leanna nods.
The fastest way back will be to take the crystal rail, so we should return to Bazada.
Back to Bazada we go. With our next course of action in place, we finish up at the inn and get ready to depart. Elder Isam sees us off, much to the delight of Amelia. We retreat back through the forest. Leanna stays by my side the whole way through, still unsettled by the forest. Luckily, nothing unfavorable happens, and we quickly make it through. As we return to Bazada, I can hear the raucous sounds of the marketplace city long before I see it. We pass through the familiar city gates and return to the early bustle of the city.
Let's pause here and take a moment to restock. There are a few items I'd like to pick up, which may be helpful.
Good idea. Why don't we all make sure we have everything we need, and then meet at the crystal rail station?
I hate summer colds. We all agree and split up. I spend some time browsing through the stalls again. Afterwards, I head over to the station to meet back up with the group. I'm the first to arrive at the station, but Kara shows up only a few minutes later, and the rest of the team gradually trickles in. Kara appears at the station list.
The end of the line is Stonecrest, so that's where we should go. Once we arrive there, I'll scout around and find our next course of action.
Doesn't she mean she'll ninja around?
We want to reach as close to Central as possible, so traveling to the end of the crystal rail is a good first step.
Once we had a semblance of a plan together, we purchased our tickets. Hey, Fear the Raven, welcome to the stream. After the stream pulls into the station, we all board and begin our journey. Come on. After traveling on the train for 2 days, we finally arrive in the city. Imagine being stuck on a train for 2 days. I squint at the midday sun and join the others as we quickly disembark the train, grateful for a chance to stretch our legs.
Here
Oh,
we are.
Ethan, how we doing? I
Stonecrest.
see you changed your name. And we are in Stonecrest. Doesn't Stonecrest sound like a North Californian town just full of stoners? Yeah. Kara pulls her arms over her head in a stretch, forcing her chest out. Zach's eyes are immediately drawn to her. She smirks at Zach, who quickly averts his gaze and stares hard at random cobble on the street. The town doesn't differ much from the other towns we've seen so far. It is made up of the same stone buildings and cobblestone paths. People wander in and out of the shops going about their daily lives. 1 minute, I'm sorry. One thing about summer flus with me is I get really bad drip in my throat. Makes me constantly cough. First thing we do is find and enter the inn. And we're back here at the inn. Alright, so now that we're here, how do we figure out where to go next? Kara grins.
Just leave it to me. I'll ask around and see if I can come up with anything.
I'll keep my eyes and ears open just in case I hear something too.
Kirsch, it's a mobile inn. It's like one of those inns on wheels that goes to every single football game. And it's like, it's always there. Just nobody wants to be there. They just are.
You should relax and enjoy the city. I've got some contacts I'm going to reach out to, so I've got this.
Oh, well, if you're sure.
Oh! Boss girl got shut down. She's like, hey, I'm in charge here. No, I'm in charge here now. Learn your place. And she's like, oh, okay. Kara nods.
I already have a few ideas and leads based on some of my previous scoutings for temples and hidden relics.
Okay, then let's meet back here in a few hours to regroup.
It's
Works
a nice
for me.
storyline. And with really, as 42 has said, impressive music and great artwork. Amelia nods distractedly.
Now that we have something of a plan, I'll be heading off.
Me too.
Kara and Leanna leave while everyone else stirs. I don't have anything pressing to do. I wonder if I can help or hang out with someone. Okay, first choice of the day, guys. First choice of the day. We got 5 choices. A, we go find Leanna. 2, we look for Spock. 3, I bet Zach is in the inn. 4, let's find Booped Ninja. Or I'm ready to call it. Yeah, but Kara is the girl that is like the ninja that has like no clothes on. 42 is like the best way. So we go with A. We all in agreements? We're going to A? Okay, we're going to A. Kara seems to already have an idea of where she wants to go. Maybe I can hang out with Leanna. I check the surrounding streets and come upon a statue. Leanna stands right before it. Hey. She smiles as I approach.
Hey!
I look back at the statue of a woman. She stands in a regal pose overlooking the town square. She's decked out in armor with a sword hanging by her side. Who's that?
That is Elena Vale. She was a mage knight who fought to protect her city against the advancement of Void.
Leanna's eyes sparkle with admiration as she looks at the statue. She tucks a lock of hair behind her ear. That's pretty cool. I'm guessing she's from here? She nods.
She was still studying at the academy to become a mage knight, but happened to be home when Void attacked. They didn't have the same type of training regimen in place back then as we do now. Normal townsfolk weren't trained or prepared to fight in a battle, and it was absolute chaos. Scouts by the gates spotted the advancement of a Void troop coming to the town, which caused panic. Elena quickly took charge and tried to calm the people down. Thinking on her feet, she asked for volunteers to help evacuate families from the city, and others to help set up barricades and defenses in town to slow down the Void advancement. Those who stayed to fight knew what the consequences would be, but Elena's unfaltering bravery rallied them. Together they found whatever they could to block off the streets and alleyways. That way, they could at least try to control where the fights happened. And then, Void entered the town.
That must have been a bloodbath. Liliana grimaces.
It wasn't pretty. These weren't trained soldiers, but still, they persevered for their town. Elena and a team of guards sought out the leader of Void, who was hidden in the back lines. They used hidden passageways in the town to quickly reach him. Using her magic and training, she was a formidable match during the skirmish. And at one point, she even had the upper hand.
It sounds like yesterday's video with Incursus where the nuke goes through the portals and takes out every single one of the lasers. It's like at one point they had the upper hand. They just didn't follow through.
When the leader realized that he may be cut down, he cowardly tried to retreat. He cast a line of shadow fire between himself and Elena, which stretched across the road. It burned both any Void followers and townsmen alike who were caught in the crossfire.
She begins to speak in awe.
But that did not stop Elena. She leaped through the dark flames and ran her sword straight through him.
Okay, A or B? A, what a badass, or B, that's so reckless. We got 2 A's. Since we only have 4 viewers, A's win. My mouth drops. That is so badass. Oleana grins broadly, her eyes sparkling.
It was, and a huge morale boost for anyone who witnessed it too.
I can imagine she literally jumped through fire. I'm assuming that was a fatal blow that killed the leader. Leanna nods.
Unfortunately, shadow fire is far more deadly than regular fire, and it proved to be fatal.
She sacrificed her life to save the people of her town. That's admirable. What happened then?
With the Void leader defeated, the rest of the followers broke down and either fled or surrendered. Thanks to Elena, this town wasn't taken over.
You seem to know a lot about her. Leanna brightens up again.
Of course, she's such an inspiration. There aren't many mage knights who are women. While Elena may not have been one of the heroes of Isaria, who defeated and ended the conflict with Void, she still made just as big an impact to the people of this town. To me, Elena embodies what it means to be a mage knight. Being a student didn't stop her. She still did everything possible to protect those who needed it.
So, Elena was maybe around the same age as Leanna is? A mage knight, but a student. So what, you think she's like, what, 16, 17 years old? Maybe 18? I don't know. They didn't get into the ages of the students. Is that why you became a mage knight?
It's one of the reasons. Elena showed me that no deed is too small to make an impact on someone. As a mage knight, I get sent on missions all over Heavengard. I feel like I can make more of a difference than if I were just a research mage.
She grins.
Plus, getting to travel around and meet new people isn't so bad.
Uh-oh, is she starting to flirt with me? How does your family feel about you traveling so much?
While they don't think it's ideal, it's something they're already used to.
Oh? Leanna nods.
My older brother is also a mage knight.
So you kind of followed in his footsteps?
I guess you could say that.
Do you two get along? She thinks, then nods slowly.
Yeah, we do actually.
He must have been really happy to hear you become a mage knight too. Leanna shifts her gaze away and smooths her skirt. When she looks back up, she seems too cheerful.
Well, that's a long enough break. I should go and help Kara with the search. I know she said we didn't have to, but investigating is part of what I do. I'll meet you back at the inn.
That was a fast change in her demeanor. It must have been something I said. Alright, I'll keep looking around too. She flashes me one last smile before quickly disappearing down the street. I guess I'd better get a move on as well. With that all done, I think about my next steps. Okay, we got another time. We gotta either look for Amelia, we gotta find Zach at the inn, or we gotta find Kara. Or D, I'm ready to call it. As in call it a night. Talk to Kara. Or Kara, however it's pronounced. English do as we speak it. Maybe I can help Kara with her search. I searched the streets of the city which seem to always miss her. I wonder where she is and what kind of people she's talking to. Oh well, I'll see her when we meet back up. I guess I'll try something else. With that done, I think about my next steps. So, do we look for Amelia? Or do we look for Zach? Or do we call it? So we're gonna do Zach? Let's go to the inn? Let's go to the inn. Based on previous patterns, it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out where Zach went. Went to the brothel. I make my way to the inn. To my surprise, Zach isn't standing in front of the bounty board. Instead, he sits by a table nursing a tankard. Looks like Zach's starting early. Not sure. I'm sure if I join him, that'll be my entire day. Screw it. Let's do it. I'll come back later. No thanks, I don't drink. I know you guys said B, but I'm gonna overrule you guys just because I've played this game before and I need some commentary, so I'm gonna do A. Because A is going to be extremely funny, I can guarantee it. I don't have anything else going on, so let's get this party started. Zach looks up at me, then returns to his drink. Challenge Zach to a drinking match. I grab myself a drink and join Zach at the table. He nods a greeting at me, which I return. I take a deep drink from my mug. Watching me, Zach takes a swig from his tankard. I don't feel much like talking, and to no surprise, neither does Zach. I take another deep drink, with which Zach matches, watching me closely. Hey, is that how it's gonna be? As Zach lowers his mug, I throw back the rest of my drink and give him a challenging grin. He nonchalantly finishes off his drink too and returns my look. I signal for another round of drinks. When they arrive, I place one in front of me and the other one in front of him. He considers me for a second, then accepts the drink. Zach leans his head back as he nearly empties his mug, a race to finish before him, but he slams his tankard down first. Not bad. This will be more of a challenge than I thought. Another round of drinks is ordered and we throw that back too. This time I chug faster than he does and slam my tankard down victoriously. My face flushes as I grin widely, but Zach pretends not to notice. Instead, he just signals for more drinks. My head begins to feel light as I chug the next round. Zach's face is beginning to get flushed. As I finish my drink first, he frowns. When the next order of drinks arrive, Zach chugs his drink in record time and flashes me a wide grin as he slams down his mug.
Ha!
Ha! Zach said a thing for some reason that felt unexpectedly funny. My thoughts are fuzzy, and I drink even more. They sip in and out of my mind. Zach begins swaying in his seat as he finishes another drink. I put down my tankard a half second after he does. His words slur as he speaks.
Your first mistake was to take on the mercenary of drinking. They don't call me the Death Slinger for nothing.
I burst into laughter and have trouble catching my breath. Seriously, Death Slinger? That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. Zach purses his lips in a serious frown as he tries to hold back his laughter. But the more I laugh, the harder it is for him to resist until he's finally laughing with me. He pushes his hair away from his face and sticks out at a weird angle. What's with that hairstyle, dude? Another fit of laughter erupts. I try to bring my tankard to my lips, but miss and splash my beer on my shirt. Zach doubles over in another wave of laughter.
You don't even know how to hold your mug properly. It's like you're from another world or something.
He grins and almost misses the table as he lowers his mug, still barely cohesive from laughter. Shh, it's a secret. I can't stop the giggles either. We're beginning to attract some stares from the other patrons. He stands.
You don't even know what a discharger is.
I know what a discharger is.
Oh yeah? What is it?
This is why we had to do this. Taking B. Something that'll wreck your insides. Zach looks slightly confused and grins.
I see what you did there.
He stumbles and falls back into his seat. Zach and I spend the rest of the afternoon laughing and drinking. For once, he's animated and expressive, completely different from what I'm used to. Time passes in a blur, but this is certainly fun. Hey Zach, before I can continue, I'm interrupted by a familiar voice.
Oh, good. You're both here.
Leanna, Carr, and Amelia approach our tables.
Did you notice how dark it is outside? We talked to a guard and...
She trails off mid-sentence when she notices the expressions on our faces. Zach wears a twisted grimace as he tries to emulate his stoic appearance. I glance at him and try to hold back my laughter. Zach leans in and whispers.
Be cool. Maybe they won't notice.
I look at Leanna's concerned face and whisper back. I don't think they've noticed. Kara leans in and my eyes are immediately drawn to her.
Seems like you guys have been spending your time wisely.
Zach looks at Kara as if noticing her for the first time. He squints, trying to keep her in focus. Kara raises an eyebrow, then smiles.
Yes?
You look familiar. Very familiar.
She blinks in surprise and smirks playfully.
I do? Like who?
Oh, like this one girl I met recently. We actually started adventuring together.
Kara grins.
Oh yeah? Tell me more about her.
Zach rubs his chin, thinking, is this guy playing dumb or actually clueless?
What can I say? She's resourceful, friendly, knows all sorts of history stuff.
Kara blushes but doesn't interrupt as she continues listing off more traits.
Oh, and she's fit. Very, very fit.
He wears an impish grin and leans in as if sharing a secret.
And apparently, quite limber.
Kara hides a laugh, clearly amused.
Is that so?
Zach nods.
I wonder what she would think if you told her all of this.
Zach's eyes widen.
That would be too weird.
I don't know. I bet she would like it.
I'm going to tell her if you don't.
Like hell you are.
Zach lunges, trying to punch me, but he swings wide and ends up stumbling. We both look at each other and start laughing. Amelia turns to Leanna and Kara.
Evidently, These two are in no state to assist us in our investigation.
I stop laughing and try to give them a serious face. I am in the greatest state.
And what state is that?
The state of being drunk. The sexy state of New York, or not a gaseous state, but a solid. The state of New York, because we got the fine Lady Liberty. I wobble on my feet as I stand for emphasis. Liana helps steady me. I glance over at her and pause as I take how attractive she is. I grin. But not as fine as you. Liana is taken aback, then blushes. She looks away dismissively.
Alright, I think it might be time for you two to call it a night.
Zach lets out a wide yawn.
No, I'm still good.
Kara swoops over and firmly pulls Zach to his feet.
Let's get you back to your room then, okay?
He stares at Kara.
You know, on second thought, I think I'm ready to go back.
Looking amused, she glances back at me.
Are you coming?
I am now. Kara leads us upstairs and drops us off in our rooms. She stands by the door as we stumble towards the bed.
Sweet dreams. Hopefully filled with that limber adventuring girl.
She winks at Zach as she closes the door behind her. And that is why I had to make that choice about the drinking. Because I knew you guys would have laughed and enjoyed that. As soon as I see my bed, I can't think of anything more inviting and gratefully fall into it. Zach does the same in his bed. And it's not... Yes, being drunk is fun. It allows for many, scientific adventurers. Zach does the same in his bed. And it's not long before the two of us pass out. For science! I groan as the sunlight filters into my eyes, pulling me awake. When did it get so bright in here? Carefully, I blink open my eyes. What time is it? Judging how bright the sun is, it must be sometime in the afternoon. Pushing myself up on the bed, I feel something stir beside me. Blobberetto! Welcome to the stream, Blobberetto. The Pongo blinks, bleary-eyed. What are you doing sleeping so late? Did you go on a drinking spree too?
Hi.
He blinks a couple more times and shakes himself. When he looks back at me, he seems much more alert. I glance over at Zach, who is sprawled out on his bed. His blankets hang ungracefully off the side of the bed. Zach? He snores in response. I walk over and cautiously tap his shoulder. Hey Zach, wake up! He groans and rolls over, pulling what's left of the blankets over his head. Yep, he's done. Surprisingly, I feel a little groggy and very thirsty, but otherwise fine. I need water. I quickly get dressed and then head downstairs. Kara sits idly at one of the tables but stands when she notices me.
Good afternoon, sleepyhead. How are you feeling?
Fine, thanks. Where's everyone else? As we talk, I grab water from the bar and chug it and down it one long gulp.
They left to get some errands done.
And you were tasked with babysitting duty?
I wanted to make sure you two were still alive. Did Zach make it?
Yeah, he's still asleep. She nods.
Since you're feeling better, make sure you take it a bit easier today. We've got some business to attend to this evening.
What sort of business? Kara smirks.
Last night, while you two were busy recuperating, we were tracking down thieves.
What's so special about these thieves?
They've been stealing crystals. all kinds of crystals, including lamp crystals, which are essentially worthless in terms of resale value.
What's the point of stealing that?
It turns out the thieves are a bunch of kids just trying to survive. They told us a man pays them for the crystals, and he comes weekly to pick them up. Today happens to be pickup day, so we're going to meet back here at the inn around sundown.
Does this have something to do with finding the Earth Temple? Kara notices the confusion on my face and answers my unasked question.
My contact won't be back until late tonight, so we won't know our next step until then anyway.
Alright. She grins again.
Now that I know you're still alive and well, I'll be off. I still have some more scouting I'd like to do before tonight.
She leaves. Kara told me to take it easy today. Maybe I'll go on a walk. I begin walking towards the town square. I follow my feet as it wanders the street, taking my time and enjoying the bustle of the town. I'd forgotten how relaxing it is to have nothing on the agenda.
Boy.
When did you... Never mind, I'm not gonna question it. Want to go on a walk with me?
Boy.
The Pongo blobs in a nod, and we continue down the road. Eventually, we reach the square. I recognize the statue of Elena? How did she pronounce that? Aliana? A small brown dog, only a little larger than the Pongo, watches us. His tail wags slowly when he catches our attention. Pet the dog, play fetch, ew, dogs, or bork bork. A, B, C, or D. Bark bark. Bark bark. The dog wags his tail and trots over to me.
Boy.
The Pongo bounces angrily. The dog stares at the Pongo as if noticing him for the first time.
Boy.
The Pongo pouts and jumps even higher. The dog cowers and whines. Pongo, what's up with you?
Boy.
I go to pet the dog, but the Pongo butts my hand away.
Boy.
Are you jealous?
Boy.
I reach out a hand to pet the Pongo, who seems to calm down slightly. The dog perks up as the Pongo relaxes. He wags his tail as he nuzzles the Pongo.
Boy.
The Pongo bristles at the dog's touch and scrambles back.
Boy.
He hops away, but the dog happily chases him. As the dog catches up, he licks the Pongo, who grimaces. He's playing with you.
Boy. Mocha.
A little girl races over to the dog, who barks excited at her presence, and throws her arms around him and holds him close as he licks her face.
I thought I lost you.
Suddenly, she notices the Pongo and her eyes grow wide.
Oh, you're so cute. Boy.
She gently pats the Pongo on the head, and his little frown melts into a smile.
Boy. Are you lost too? Boy.
He hops over to me. The girl looks me over and then smiles shyly.
Oh, hi.
Hey, is that your dog? She nods.
Thanks for finding him for me. Sometimes he's too fast and I can't catch him.
Mocha sniffs around my feet and nudges my hand to be petted, but the Pongo bounces between us.
Boy.
The girl giggles and waves.
I guess we should be leaving. Bye-bye, little Pongo friend. Thanks for keeping Mocha company.
Bye. Before Mocha can escape again, the girl slips the leash around his collar, and the two of them gradually disappear from view. I look down at my Pongo, who looks back up at me. A, put him on your shoulder, or B, he's fine where he is. He's put him on your, okay, we'll be nice. Oh. I smile and pat his head affectionately. He squirms happily against me, then hops up onto my shoulder and nuzzles my face. How about we continue that walk together?
Hi.
Together we head further into town. I decided to check up some of the storefronts and streets that I didn't get a chance to see yesterday. The Pongo wanders off when it gets too crowded, but he always seems to find his way back to me. After most of the day has passed, I decide it's time to return to the inn. Leanna, Amelia, and Zach are already there waiting. Zach's scowl is fiercer than usual, but otherwise he looks a lot better than this morning. Leanna stands when I arrive.
Here, I got you something.
She passes me a gauntlet similar to the one on her wrist. The sphere inlaid is the same color as Leanna's. That must be a wind crystal. Aww, we got matching gauntlets. I'm guessing this is like the same as like the whole thing about matching cell phones. Or, yeah. Have you ever done the magic? Have you? Blah. Is this a manipulator?
Yeah, I was thinking about your last attempt at casting, and I figured this might be more helpful with future training. Having the manipulator as a focal point of concentration is how Amelia and I learned to cast.
Thanks. Kara finally returns and the attention shifts to her.
The crystal pickup will happen soon. We should start heading over.
Leanna nods.
Once they complete the exchange, we should follow the guy to see if he leads us to their hideout. He might have other partners, so we should be on guard.
I still can't think of why they'd want these crystals.
Energy crystals have varying utilizations, some of which are outlawed.
Kara seems a bit surprised, but Leanna doesn't react to this. Thinking about what these outlawed utilizations could be makes me uneasy.
We have our plan. Let's get started.
We trace back to the ruins and find the abandoned house with the children. Instead of entering, we spread out around the perimeter to maximize visibility on anyone approaching. Kara and I stay close to the house and hide behind some of the fallen bricks. Our field of vision is limited, but we're close enough to overhear any conversations that take place. After we position ourselves, we wait. We don't know when this man's going to show up, and after about 20 minutes, I start to get fidgety. I wish the kids had given us the time. Who knows how long we'd be stuck out here for. My legs are starting to cramp, but as I shift, Kara shoots me a warning glance, and I force myself to push through it. Finally, a man approaches. He looks to be in his 20s, and surprisingly wears something that resembles a beanie on his head. Kara yanks my collar so we duck down. She covers my mouth with her hand, puts a finger to her lips. Looks like our job is to listen in. The others will be our eyes. I hear a door creak, following by the faint sound of footsteps.
Hey yo, you punks got my crystals or what?
I listen for any extra footsteps, but it sounds like the man came solo.
Here.
There's a rustling of a bag being opened.
What is this? These crystals are weak, yo!
That's all we could find.
Nah, this ain't good, man.
Sorry.
The boy's voice is weak.
Huh.
The bag closes and the man grunts as he lifts it up.
Wait, where are our coins?
You'll get your payment when you deliver, yo. This is only half of what you promised.
There's a silence. I carefully peek out to see the boy straining with his hands clenched.
Fine.
That's what I thought.
The stranger looks the bag over his shoulder. I quickly duck back down as he exits the house. Time to go. I turn to face Kara, who wears a serious frown and has fury in her eyes. I don't think I've ever seen her angry before, let alone this angry. She looks like she's about to rip that guy's head off. Kara?
Did you not see that? We should take him out now.
A, think about the bigger picture, or B, don't be stupid. He could just be a messenger. We have to stick to the plan. Kara clenches and unclenches her jaw. Then she nods, still fuming.
I know you're right, but still.
He'll get his justice soon enough.
Let's hurry up and go.
Yeah. We trail the man out of Stonecrest, making sure to stay behind buildings and keep out of the shadows. Keep to the shadows as to not be spotted. Kara slips in and out of the alleys with ease and takes a lot of my concentration not to lose her. No wonder she's always sneaking up on us. I assume the rest of our team is also following him. I'm unable to spot them. That's for the best. The less chance of being noticed, the better. Outside the city gates, it's a little harder to stay hidden, as it opens out into a more open field. At least since we're spread out, it won't be easy for him to escape if he tried to. He successfully follows him to what looks like an abandoned train car. There's some kind of dark smoke emitting from the top. The man pauses and we crouch lower behind cover as he looks around. He doesn't spot any of us and enters the train. Looks like a freaking hippie car. Remember those old hippie vans that were on the Volkswagens? Like the Scooby-Doo mobile? Those VW, those whatever. Kara puts her finger to her lips and I nod. Staying low, we sneak towards the train. The windows are all blacked out, but we crouch below them anyways. I can hear muffled voices as I gently press my ear against the train.
Yo, Mr. White!
Jesse, how many times do I have to tell you to call me Heisenberg?
Does anyone here get the reference? 42 gets the reference. The reference is there's a show, Breaking Bad. Have you ever seen Breaking Bad, Raven? Or I'm sorry, Ethan. Yeah. Watch Breaking Bad is basically where this guy, he's a teacher, and his wife gets really, really sick, and they can't afford to make the payments for the medical. So what ends up happening is, he cooks drugs to get money, and Jesse is his runner. But that brings up a very big issue, on morality. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's a teacher that the only way to keep his wife alive is to cook drugs. Think about that. The only way to make money to keep his wife alive is to do something illegal. It's really sad. But it also shows a big issue with, medical issues. But that's philosophy. We do those kinds of philosophies on the weekends when I play City Skylines. If you haven't seen the Cat Girl series, where you build a city full of cat girls, go check out the other videos. We got 2 videos for City Skylines. It's about 10 hours. Beautiful time.
My bad, but I got some crystals.
Let's see.
there aren't many and they're pretty small. I don't think we'd be able to get much out of them anyway.
It doesn't matter their size. Once we're done cooking them, they'll be exponentially more effective.
I don't know, man. They're tiny. How does that even work?
It's a simple matter of science.
You serious? You can do something like that?
Indeed.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah, science.
Yeah, science!
Heisenberg.
Oh, right. My bad, yo.
I hear a faint clanging of glassware. I wish I could see what they're doing. A sharp snap cracked somewhere from behind me. What was that? I shift out of position to look behind me and see an animal scampering away. As I breathe a sigh of relief, I notice the absence of noise in the train.
What was that?
Before I have a choice to get down, one of the windows swing open, and I'm face to face with both of them. The younger man with the beanie, Jesse, stares at me with wild eyes. The second man is much older, maybe the age of his father, and fixes me with an inscrutable stare. He looks surprisingly normal, not someone who'd get mixed up with something shady. Jesse turns around and darts out the back exit.
Run!
Mr. Wright joins him as Carr and I sprint to the other side of the train. Thankfully, Leanna and Zach are already there. Leanna points her blade at them.
Surrender and come with us peacefully.
Jesse looks like he's about to bolt, but Zach fixes his discharger on him.
I wouldn't move if I were you.
Crap, what do we do? Why are you laughing at a time like this?
Amelia stands a good distance away, her manipulator's glowing. After looking over the older man, she frowns.
The branding of void.
Quite the observation, young miss.
Wait, what? You're a part of Void?
Mr. Wright merely smiles.
I didn't sign up for this!
Don't be so naive. You think the crystals were just going to magically create more energy?
Your intent was to perform shadow transmutation on the crystals to create tainted spheres.
Again, he doesn't answer.
It appears confrontation is imminent.
The one good thing about this character, Amelia, is that she's extremely direct. So, it's like...
Why don't we even up the odds?
With a flash, Mr. Wright grabs two shadowy spheres from his belt, similar to the ones I saw at Raven Pass. He throws them to the ground and a dark smog emits, curling in the air. Leanna reacts first and blasts her wind magic to dissipate the smoke. In its place are two shadow creatures. Their warped appendages are nothing that I recognize, and their long shadows claws into a sharp point. This is the stuff of nightmares. They stand between us and Mr. Wright, and with Jesse cowering beside him.
Shadow familiars!
This is getting way too crazy for me. I'm out.
Jesse breaks into a sprint and Carr immediately gives chase.
I've got him!
Two of them dash out of sight.
Unfortunately, you've disrupted my work, which means I have to start all over again. So, I'm going to get going.
He channels up a spell and starts to run. As he continues to chant the spell, shadow crawls up his leg, threatening to engulf him completely in shadow. We can't let him get away. Leanna leans, looks from the man to the familiars.
As much as I want to go after him, our top priority is to defeat these shadow creatures.
Indeed. Shadow familiars this close in proximity to a city can wreak havoc and incite widespread panic.
They would know better than I, and I trust their instincts. I look back at Heisenberg being swallowed by Shadow. Once the shadows fade away, he disappears. Zach readies his dischargers, a small smile on his face.
Sounds like a challenge.
My heart races as I draw my blade. This is getting crazy. Oh, look at this APM. What? Oh. Oh, whatever. Yeah, screw it. I give up. Oh, I lose? What? Okay. Alright, I lost. Look at that. Look at that APM and I lose. The shadow familiars strike me hard and I fly back, crashing into the ground. My head slams into the ground hard and my vision blackens as my consciousness fades. Dot.
He's waking up.
My head pounds, I sit up and groan as my body protests. Leanna hovers worriedly over Zach and Amelia look calm.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, but you know, at least we got 3 beautiful girls trying to figure out, how bad is he? Oh no, what can we do to heal him? Sometimes you have to take a loss to get the bigger picture.
As I stated before, he only lost consciousness and would awaken soon.
What happened?
You got bitch slapped.
Shut up, Zach.
Zach!
And losing just to get that comment from Zach is well worth it. He shrugs.
You took a nasty hit.
How long was I out for?
Around 15 minutes.
What about those shadow familiars?
They have been eliminated.
See? Even if we lose, we still win. I'm a little embarrassed by how unhelpful I was during the fight, but I'm secretly glad they dealt with it. I'm sure I'm not ready for another hit like that. Now that I've properly looked at them, they seem pretty exhausted. It probably took a lot of effort to defeat those creatures.
Can you walk?
I think so. John Smith, how are we doing today? Welcome to the stream, Mr. Smith. I push myself unsteadily to my feet.
Hey!
We turn at the sound of Kara's voice. She waves at us with one hand as she uses the other to drag Jesse back. She plops him down in front of us and he falls ungracefully to the ground. I see that his hands are bound. Kara stands over him, her face grim.
Now, you're going to tell us exactly what you know.
I don't know jack squat. Mr. White was paying me to get crystals, and that's it, yo.
So you were not an accomplice to the shadow transmutation.
I don't even know what the shadow transportation is.
Transmutation.
No, it's not transmutation. It's, what's that word again? There we go! The confection oven maker.
Exactly.
We glare at him.
Look, I made a few deliveries to him. The first couple of times he wouldn't tell me what he did, but paid some good coin. But later he said he was going to show me so I could help with his operations. He was going to give solid pay for that too, yo.
I look at him up and down. He seems desperately at us, and it's clear to me he's scared. This doesn't seem like the kind of man Void would trust with any kind of responsibilities. I'm inclined to believe that he's just looking for some fast cash. Kara seems skeptical, but Amelia and Leanna seem to have come to the same conclusion I have. Zach crosses his arms.
Better hope the guards believe your story.
Jesse looks like he's about to protest, but sighs instead. I think he realizes there's no chance he's going to escape.
The bag of stolen crystals is in there. He didn't grab it before running out.
Leanna enters the train and returns with a bulging bag.
Let's go turn him into the guards. They'll take it from here.
Yep, interactive stream. Zach calls Jesse back to his feet and leans him back towards the town. Luckily, it's late at night, so very few people walk the street. The few who do give us long stares as we pass. When we arrive at the guard's barracks, the person on duty gets to his feet. He looks at Leanna in recognition.
Oh, it's you again.
We found the source of your missing crystals.
Zack pushes Jesse forward and he stumbles into the guard, who grabs a hold of him. The guard eyes him up and down.
It's this guy?
How long do I stream? Weekdays it's probably about 2.5 hours. On a Saturday and a Sunday, I can do up to 5 hours. And, yeah, you can see my Saturday's streams. I did City Skylines. Built a really beautiful city. And I'm gonna probably go back to it to finish up. Or I might choose a different map, because that map kind of seemed a little bit irky with the, mountain being there. But, meh. Yeah, those mountains. Remember the mountains? They were just like there. They're just really annoying. I mean, really beautiful, but just really annoying.
Oh man, it was all 'cause of Void!
The guard stares at him, clearly unconvinced.
Uh-huh. Maybe in lockup you'll have time to think up a better story.
I'm telling you the truth, bitch!
The guard frowns and passes Jesse off to another guard who takes him into the back. Then the guard turns back to us.
Hopefully you won't have any more issues.
The guard grins and looks relieved.
I can't thank you all enough. You have no idea how much of a thorn in my side this has all been.
Yeah, he used, this guy, Jesse, he had a speech, skill rating at 10 when the speech needed like a 25. When the speech check needed a 25.
As promised, there's a reward for helping us catch the culprit.
He produces a heavy satchel of gold, which he hands over to us.
Thanks again for all your help, and I hope you have a safe night.
It's a speech check. If you ever played the Fallout series or the Skyrim series, you have to do speech checks. And when you fail the speech check, things don't go well.
Thanks.
We leave the guardhouse and equally divvy up the reward money. As everything settles down, the group decides to return to the inn. I'm glad we get to the bottom of things, but I can't help but wonder what will happen to those kids. Okay, are we gonna do the good thing or the bad thing? Bad thing is, there is nothing I can do. Good thing is, I share my reward with them. Good or bad, guys? Are we gonna be good or are we gonna be bad? Is this an RPG game? Answer is yes and no. This is, we are a character, so we are playing a role. But at the same time, this is more like, there's like an anime here. I don't like being good, so we're going with A. Even back home, the system is broken and kids like that would have had difficult lives no matter what. It's equally frustrating that there's nothing that can be done for them here either. Saddened by that thought, I join the rest of the team as we head back to the inn. As I enter the inn, Leanna looks around.
Where's Kara?
I don't know, I thought she was following everyone back.
I thought so too.
Leanna bites her lip and furrows her brow. I'm sure she'll be back soon. When we wait for Kara to return, we decide to grab something to eat. With all the excitement going on, we forgot about dinner. We get our orders and settle in. Zack and Leanna dig in. Amelia, on the other hand, is quiet as she stares at her place. Is she okay? I'm sorry, at her plate. Is she okay? Amelia? She looks up at me.
Yes?
Something wrong? She shakes her head.
No. I was pondering about the lab at the Void Hideout, which was used to perform shadow transmutations.
What exactly is that? Or I'll pass on the exposition. I've been meaning to ask, what is the shadowy transmutation you were talking about earlier?
It is the process in which shadow energy is merged with a crystal containing another form of elemental energy. This fusion causes an overwhelming surge of energy to spawn, which consequently destabilizes the crystal and causes the shadow energy to become uncontrollable and very dangerous.
This is what we refer to as a tainted sphere, like the one the Treasurer used in Raven Pass, and what was used to summon the Shadow Familiars.
It didn't seem uncontrollable when they used it, though.
Perhaps not those times. However, as it is destabilized sphere, the energy is unpredictable. It's possible it will cast properly, but equally possible it will implode upon itself at any time, which would be fatal to the mage in possession of it.
Have I ever played Forts? Yes, I have played Forts. I haven't played since the update, even though I was gifted the expansion for it. But I just got out of it. It just became too much. It just became too much for me. I enjoyed it when it was basic. I enjoyed the first expansion, but when they started adding potatoes, it just I just didn't want to play with potatoes.
That's a best case scenario. Imagine if one of those crystals went off and spawned a shadow familiar in the middle of town.
That would definitely be bad.
That's why shadow transmutation has been outlawed, even before the Treaty of Asaria.
I thought you said all use of shadow magic was banned.
Yes, but there were legitimate users of shadow magic before the war.
You lost me.
Shadow magic is not innately harmful. It was originally used in non-destructive ways, just like any other element. That being said, a group of practitioners abused the usage of shadow magic, which revealed just how dangerous it can be when used in such a manner. That is what caused the eventual war in Assyria and the subsequent banning of shadow magic.
Hey, Ethan. How are you doing? Because I'm a potato. And that group was Void?
Correct.
Things are starting to make a little bit more sense, but I'm still not sure I understand it all.
It's just a little troublesome to think that there was someone performing shadow transmutation just on the outskirts of Stonecrest, and with a lot of crystals too.
Even though Void was defeated, it wasn't completely wiped out, and their remaining members have just been laying low.
Amelia and Leanna nod. This conversation lulls as we think about what was said. We finish the rest of our food in silence. By the time we finish up our meals, Kara returns.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I met up with my contact and he came through. He said that there's some adventurer who's been talking about one of those high concentrations of energy. He's at Hearth Point right now, but probably won't be staying for too long. We should head there in the morning and see what he knows.
Just in case you guys are wondering what the other path was, Kara went to give the her share of the coins to the kids in the those homeless kids. That was the other path we could have taken if we were to go give our share to those kids. Kara did the same exact thing, and they meet up, and Kara's like, I'm surprised you're here. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm surprised you're here. And then they go their ways, and then we go back to this line. But that's just spoilers.
What's the guy's name?
Arton Hunt.
Zach shrugs. I guess he doesn't know him.
It might sound like just a rumor, but there's always a grain of truth in a rumor. At the very least, we should be able to get a clue or two.
Hey, I heard a rumor that there was a rumor.
Okay, tomorrow we'll head for Hearth Point.
Amelia nods. I yawn widely. Tonight, though, I'm ready for bed. The team murmurs their agreement and we all turn in early. It's been a long day and that fight really took it out of me. After getting ready, I climb into bed and immediately fall into a deep sleep. The next morning, I wake up with a wide yawn. My body aches from the fight, but otherwise I feel very rested. I gather my things and meet the group downstairs for a quick breakfast. Then we begin our journey to Hearth Point. After traveling all morning, we decide to stop and rest for a while. The sun shines overhead in the sky, and there's a soft breeze to balance out the warmth of the day. Zach claims a spot in the shade of the tree where he cleans out his dischargers, and Amelia and Carr rummage through their packs to pass around water. Leanna approaches me.
Since we're taking a break, would you be up for some magic training? We can go into the clearing so you aren't just out on the open road.
Okay. Should we go with A, let's do it, B, finally some alone time together, or C, I've got nothing else to do? B it is. That Kincha is a potatoes? That makes no sense, Ethan. Ethan, that Kincha is an potatoes. The fuck does that even mean? Are you trying to say that Kincha is a potato? Or is Kincha that Kincha is in a potato? Or Kincha is a potato's potato? What are you trying to say? English, does you speak it? I grin. You know, if you wanted to be alone with me, you only had to ask. Leanna blinks.
I did ask.
Well, she's got me there. Then yes, I'd love to be alone with you. She looks a bit uncertain.
To train for magic.
Yes. She smiles. I follow her to a little alcove off the path. We're far enough that passers won't get a good view of me, but far enough that we won't lose sight of the rest of the team.
The actual process is a bit tricky. You have to channel the energy out of the crystal, then concentrate on the process of shaping it, refining the energy into something you can use. So to do that, you need to concentrate on the crystal's form and use your mind to alter it.
I'm not sure I got all that. No, she didn't say concentrate. She said Auschwitz. She pauses to think.
Okay, you have a manipulator now, so instead of trying to channel the energy from stored within you, try to concentrate on channeling through the manipulator.
I look down at the manipulator on my wrist. You know, the manipulator could be like one of those futuristic Pip-Boys that's all holographic interfaced instead of just, you know, the little PC on your wrist. Alright, so I can channel the energy from this crystal?
Exactly! Like this.
Leanna holds out her manipulator. It pulses softly with the blue light, and then a small burst of wind erupts from the manipulator. Okay, I'll give it a go. I stare hard at my manipulator, trying to focus on the energy of the crystal. I scrunch up my face in concentration, but nothing seems to work.
Just concentrate on the energy. Let go of your distractions.
Let go of my distractions. I try to clear my mind, but all I can think about is how nothing seems to be happening. It's not working.
That's okay. Keep trying. It's always hardest your first time.
That's what she said. I think through Alana's explanation again. Is there something I've missed? Trying again, I concentrate, focusing on the energy. But nothing happens. This isn't working.
Don't give up. Try again. Just focus on that energy and use the manipulator to channel it.
I know you've said that before, but it doesn't make sense to me. Leanna runs her hand through her hair as she frowns.
I don't know how else to put it. Once you get it, you'll know. You just have to keep concentrating and trying.
That's really not helpful, but I take a deep breath to calm myself down. It's not Leanna's fault, and she's been very patient. Is it just me? Why am I not getting it? Okay, A, I'll keep trying until I get it right. B, is there something wrong with the manipulator? Or C, this isn't working. Leanna hasn't given up on me, so I shouldn't give up on myself either. I have to keep trying. My face flushes as I try to find the energy of the crystal, but I'm still unsuccessful. Leanna looks concerned at the sweat beading on my temple.
Are you okay?
I sigh heavily. This is hopeless.
It just takes practice.
I can tell Leanna wants to stay positive, but her words feel flat. Like that plank we had! That fed us chocolate chip cookies. This is taking a toll on her too. I don't know what else to do. She frowns as she thinks and she shakes her head with a sigh.
How about we take a break for now? Maybe if you have a chance to think about it a little more, you'll have more success next time.
I half-heartedly shrug. Sure. I try to keep the skepticism out of my voice, but Leanna seems just as skeptical as we return to the group. Kara, Zach, and Amelia are ready for us when we get back. After I have a chance to rehydrate and grab a quick bite to eat, we continue on our way. The rest of our journey goes far more smoothly than my training. As the sun dips low in the area, we decide to rest for the night. After securing our well-covered area, we get to work setting up camp. Leanna disappears to gather firewood, while Zach rummages through the supplies. Prepping for dinner, Kara secures our perimeter. I roll out of my sleeping roll, and Amelia does the same. I go help Leanna find more kindle. When we return with the firewood, we get the fire started. Zach pulls out a simple pot and a few basic ingredients, then he gets to work. Soon the fragrance of cooked meat makes my mouth water. Kara wanders over to the fire.
That smells amazing. What is it?
She reaches for one of the skewers, but Zach's expression makes her pause.
It's not done yet.
She pouts and continues to eye the food. After some time, a very appetizing aroma fills the air. Zach removes the skewers from the fire and scoops porridge into bowls.
All right, it's done.
He hands a bowl to each of us, then settles down as we dig in. I bite into the juicy meat and let the taste linger on my tongue. It's smoky and tender, a perfect barbecue. Kara savors the bite.
Oh, I didn't know camp food could taste this good.
Zach shrugs.
It's nothing special.
We've been doing this all wrong. No more rotating cooking duty. I vote we have Zach cook for us every night.
Zach turns his head away and lets his hair fall over his face.
You don't have to make a big deal out of this.
A, I'll be your wingman, or B, don't get involved. I think we should be an ass to him and just not get involved. To get back at his comment for saying that we got... Kara smirks. Her gaze lingers on Zach, but he doesn't notice.
I wonder what other talents you're hiding.
He shrugs.
It's okay. I'll find them all out sooner or later.
Ooh. Zach doesn't respond, but begins to gather the empty bowls.
Seriously though, nobody's cooking can compare. Especially not mine.
Zach pauses.
I enjoyed it.
Kara blinks.
Really?
He offers a short nod.
It's not bad.
Zach looks up and meets her gaze. Kara's grin widens and a small blush creeps into her cheeks. I quietly slip away and go down at the edge of the campsite. Leanna sits down beside me with a soft smile. I feel her hesitate before she speaks.
So, magic training today.
Yeah.
I know today wasn't quite what you expected, but after more practice, you'll get it.
I know she's trying to be encouraging, but this is really the last thing I want to talk about. The thought of having to go through that again fills me with dread. When do you think the next practice should be?
Honestly, every day.
I swallow the groan that threatens to come out, but I can't hold back my dismay. Every day. Leanna forces a smile.
Casting is not easy, and it really takes as much practice as possible. With us traveling to the next temple, this is the best way to get you to learn quickly.
She looks away and I see her smile drop. Leanna clearly as excited about this as I am, but she's trying hard to pretend that that's not the case. I can respect that and appreciate that she's trying. Well then, I hope next time will be more productive than this time. Leanna tries to sound more chipper than she is.
Like I said, nobody can cast their first time. It's something I had to work on for weeks before I was able to even manipulate a light breeze.
A, at least it's not just me. B, yeah, because you were like 11. Or C, this still sucks. Happy thoughts. I get in trouble for my happy thoughts. Jeez, everyone gets pissed off at my happy thoughts. Actually hearing that even Leanna had trouble is more confronting than I thought. She's such a talented caster now that it gives me a bit of hope. I smile genuinely. You're right. I'm sure with practice I'll get it. Leanna's mood shifts up and she returns my smile.
That's the spirit.
Leanna looks up at the sky.
We should probably get some rest. It's another early start tomorrow.
As Leanna says that, I feel a yawn coming on. That sounds like a good idea. The others are winding down too. Zach stays up to take the first watch. As Leanna heads over to her bedroll, I crawl into mine and try to ignore the harshness of the ground. Eventually, I fall asleep. We wake up in the morning and break down the camp, then we resume our journey. After traveling for most of the day, we finally end up at Hearth Point. This is where Arden Hunt is, supposedly. I think I'm finally getting used to all the walking as my legs, although tired, don't feel sore.
We'll need to find this person quickly. Adventurers aren't known for sticking around in one spot for very long.
Let's not waste any time then.
Amelia nods.
I propose we begin our investigation at the taverns.
Taverns?
Yes, there are 2 taverns in Hearth Point. One over there,
She points to a building by the entrance.
and another one facing northeast from the second gate.
Kara seems a little surprised by how much Amelia knows about this town. She probably had to study the geography of Havengard and read all about the surrounding towns and villages.
We don't have too much daylight left.
He's right. The sun sets the sky ablaze, as it dips closer to the horizon.
Let's split up. We'll be able to cover more ground that way. If one tavern is a dead end, then check the other. If he's not in either place, then we'll meet back here.
I concur with this plan. Any objections?
No one speaks up.
Then let us proceed.
Zach, Amelia, and Carr start heading towards the nearest tavern.
Wait!
They all look at us.
We didn't talk about how the group is being split.
Carr smirks.
I think it's quite obvious.
Leanna blinks at me as the group resumes walking.
What does that mean?
A, I'm not too sure. B, we are a couple of course. Or C, who cares? We have a job to do. I think I know. I gently take her hand in mine. Leanna's eyes grow red, and she immediately slips her hand out of my grasp.
That's definitely not it!
Although she looks away, her cheeks are pink. What else could it be? Leanna's blush deepens, but she shakes her head.
If you have time to make ridiculous comments, then you have time to walk. Let's hurry up and get going.
She's flustered. Leanna quickly loses her pace and starts towards the tavern. Wait up! I jog to catch up to her. Although she ignores me, I can still see her blush and can't hold back my smile. It's a brief walk through town before we reach the place. As we push the door open, the warm smell of bread wafts through the air, bringing with it a chorus of laughter. The tables are full of men and women sharing food and pints. This place has a cozy feel, and as we look around, I feel comfortable and welcome.
So, Kara mentioned Arton has an eye patch.
She pauses and glances at the patrons.
We should split up and see if we spot him.
I nod. Sounds like a plan. We separate and begin our search, slowly walk around the tavern looking for anyone with an eye patch. As I begin to lose hope he's not here, I see a man sitting alone. He is scribbling furiously in a notebook, but more importantly, an eye patch covers one eye. Finally, a lead. I hurry over to him. As I get close, I notice he's drawing a map. He stops and looks up at me.
What do you want?
His tone is gruff, but he doesn't seem hostile. Are you Arton Hunt? He sizes me up.
What of it?
I heard that you found an area of high energy. He continues to stare at me. I was wondering if you could share that information. He waves a hand dismissively.
It's not something to be shared.
I can pay you for it. He frowns.
You can't just buy the experience of discovery. Coins are merely a construct of human greed, and you need to absolve yourself of materialistic reliance to transcend.
Whatever that means. Will you at least tell me where it is? He glares at me.
I'd like to get back to my work, and you're taking up my time.
He taps his pen impatiently on the table.
Do you mind?
It looks like I've annoyed the guy. I doubt he'd say anything now. Thanks anyways. I leave the men alone and search for Leanna instead. I find her with the rest of our party and approach them.
Arden wasn't at the other tavern, but we heard that he's here.
He is. Everyone turns to face me.
Did you find him?
I nod. Yeah, he's back there. I point to the back tables. But it seems like he's not the sharing type. I even offered to pay and he still refused to talk. Leanna's face falls and Amelia and Zach seem discouraged. Only Kara remains optimistic.
Great, you've done the hard work for us.
Zach stares at her.
Did you just miss the part about how that guy won't talk even for money?
Finding the target is the difficult part. Getting information out of him is just a matter of being tactful.
Yes, and she has plenty of tact. She has a lot of tact. Definitely a lot of tact. She has 2 points in her tactfulness. Kara winks. Zack cracks his knuckles and grins.
I get you. We're finally on the same page.
I didn't mean beat the information out of him.
Zack frowns.
You just have to give him an appealing reason to loosen his lips.
Are you proposing to exploit his humanistic need to procreate with an attractive maid as a guise to extract the needed information?
Wow.
If you mean flirt with him to find out what we need to know, then yes.
What a cunning method. I approve.
We all stare at Amelia. You do? She nods. That was unexpected.
Who shall be executing this plan?
Do we do Leanna? Do we do Amelia? Or do we do Kara? B. All for the pink-haired Spock. Pink-haired Spock. How about Amelia?
Wow.
What's wrong with you?
What? Leanna shoots me a disapproving look.
She's just a kid.
Kara folds her arms and looks at me just as disapproving as Leanna.
I never thought you'd turn out to be such a creep.
Amelia blinks in surprise.
I believe you are mistaken about my age.
Amelia's words fall on deaf ears as the girls continue to give me death glares. Okay, maybe not Amelia. Let's try that again. Let's do Leanna or Kara. Apparently they don't want to use the Let's do Leanna. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. Leanna! Leanna looks surprised.
Me?
Kara mistakes the chocolate as snacks Snickers. Leanna frowns.
What's with that reaction?
Kara smiles.
Oh, don't get me wrong, you're cute, but I'm not sure you've got the personality needed for this type of thing.
Leanna frowns.
And what's that supposed to mean?
You're a bit shy.
I can be plenty forward.
Kara and Zack burst out laughing. Leanna looks at Amelia.
You think I can do it, right?
Amelia studies Leanna.
I must admit that your propriety does not lend well to the suggestion that you could entice the desired sexual attention.
Leanna crosses her arms and pouts.
Even you, Amelia?
Aw, okay. How about you show one of us what you've got? If you're successful, you can try.
Fine.
Kara points to me.
There's your target. What are you going to do?
Leanna's cheeks tinge slightly as she meets my eyes. I have a strange feeling in my stomach. She takes a deep breath to gather her thoughts, then flashes me a determined look. She oversways her hips and walks over to me. The movement is too exaggerated to make her look like she doesn't know how to walk.
Oh,
She stammers as she tries to speak, almost as if the words elude her.
Hey there, sailor.
I look at her blankly.
What?
What?
Hi?
Even the poi! Even the poise responds.
Despite having an attractive figure and aesthetically pleasing features, it is now abundantly clear why Leanna has been unable to acquire a companion.
Oh, the pink-haired girl is destroying her. That was...
Amelia!
At this rate, the only companion she'll be acquiring is a house full of cats.
Zach nods in agreement.
You guys are so mean!
Leanna pouts. I thought it was cute, or that was hilarious. A or B? I didn't think it was that bad. Leanna shakes her head.
You're only saying that to make me feel better.
What are you saying that to make me feel better? Before I can say any more, Amelia speaks.
I believe we should nominate someone else.
Leanna crosses her arms but doesn't protest. I guess we're going for Kara. Are you up for the job, Kara? Kara grins.
I thought you'd never ask.
She heads towards the target, swaying her hips alluringly. Leanna watches with envy.
She turned it on just like that?
Seems like she's not the only thing turned on. I shift my attention to Zach, who very obviously stares at Kara's turn. Derriere.
Zach!
Zach snaps back to reality and his face flushes when he notices all of us looking.
What? I wasn't staring.
No accusation was made, yet your defensive disposition is quite revealing of your intent.
Zach coughs and crosses his arms as he looks away.
You're thinking too much into this.
We watch Kara working her magic. She engages Arton and at one point even gets him to laugh. She scoots closer to him and rests a hand on his arm. Things seem to be going well. As the conversation continues, Arton suddenly shakes his head and dismisses Kara. She tries to laugh off the dismissal and re-engage in the conversation, but he looks back down at his page and continues drawing. Still stunned, she slowly makes her way back to us.
I don't understand.
Her eyes glaze over in disbelief.
Now I know how Leanna must feel every day.
Oh. Is today her pick on Leanna day? Leanna frowns.
Really?
Can we get some F's in chat
It would
for
appear
Leanna?
Kara was unsuccessful.
It would appear, yeah. That's everybody then.
Regrettably, all of our options for this plan are exhausted.
Great, what are we going to do now? Kara suddenly looks around.
Wait, where did Zach go?
We search frantically for him before spotting him sitting beside Arton.
Oh no, we'll get in trouble with the city guards if he is...
To everyone's surprise, Arton's face is deep red as he coyly looks away. He giggles at his hands something to Zach. Zach accepts the parchment and nods at him and then nods back to us. Arton looks longingly after Zach's retreating form.
Here.
He hands Kara the parchment and opens up to reveal a map of the neighboring forest. There is a sideway path drawn to indicate where packets of high energies readings are. Kara looks from Zach to the map and back at Zach.
But how did you get this?
Zach shrugs. Kara continues to stare at Zach, this time a little less surprised and more impressed. Well, at least we have what we need. I'm relieved that someone was able to get Arton to crack, but how did Zack pull it off, and without it coming to blows no less? I shake my head. I guess some mysteries will never be solved. I glance outside at the darkened sky. It's getting a little late. Do you think we should stay here for the night, or should we head out?
We wouldn't be able to make much progress. May as well spend the night here and get a fresh start in the morning.
Alright. Amelia stands.
Now that our business has concluded, I must take my leave.
Everyone stares at her.
Where are you going?
I have an obligation I must fulfill.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say it sounded like you're meeting someone.
You are correct. It will not take long, and I will be ready to rejoin you in the morning.
It will not take long, and I will be ready to rejoin you in the morning. Yeah. As Amelia turns to leave, Zack stops her.
Are you sure you should go alone?
Amelia raises an eyebrow.
Surely my parents would mean me no harm.
Oh, her parents.
Parents?
Yes. They would be very upset if I were to pass through without visiting them.
You have family here and didn't tell us?
I did not see the relevance.
Don't you want to see them?
To visit them is currently the obligation that I am going to fulfill.
Good. Let's get to it then.
Kara gets to her feet and pushes Amelia towards the exit.
I do not understand.
We're going to meet your parents.
Before Amelia can protest, Kara has already led her out the door. The rest of us trail behind. Amelia sighs.
Very well.
Amelia, Zack, and Kara walk ahead of Leanna. Something's going on with my stream. It's a little bit bugged out. It's buffering. Okay, that's is it fixed? I'm looking at, yeah, it looks like it's fixed. But it's like it's looping. Amelia, Zack, and Kara walk ahead as Leanna and I follow. Leanna has a strange expression on her face. Can't quite read.
What do you think her parents are like?
My stream is frozen. Hang on a second. Yeah, but my stream is frozen. It's... wait. What? Is there a delay or something? Okay. Let's try it. Probably normal, logical and rational, or we'll find out. A, B, or C. Rational, normal, logical, we'll find out. What the question was, what are her parents like? The Vulcan girl, whatever. Amelia. No point in guessing. We'll find out soon enough.
I have a feeling she'll be different from her parents.
We had 2 for C, 1 for B. Sorry, 42.
She grew up at the university and didn't get to spend as much time at home. Most of her behaviors were probably learned from there.
Sounds like Amelia's childhood was a lot more serious about the average child. I wonder if that's how she acted so casually about her parents. Going to see them almost sounded like a chore she had to knock out. We pause in front of a modest house. There's a small garden in the front yard and a few flower pots line the stoop. Amelia steps up to the door and knocks. Don't you have a key? She looks back at me.
I do. However, it is back at the academy. I did not anticipate our travels would lead us to Hearth Point.
The door swings open and an elder woman stands in the doorway. Her face has fine lines which reveal her age, but her smile is warm and kind. Her eyes light up when she sees Amelia, and she draws her into a tight hug.
Amy! What a pleasant surprise! I didn't know you were stopping by.
Kara grins at the use of a nickname. Amelia doesn't react to her mother's embrace, and almost seems to wait out the hug. Eventually her mother lets go, then turns back towards the house.
Honey, Amy's come home.
A faint voice calls out from within the house.
Amy? Be right there.
Her mom turns back to Amelia and hugs her again.
Oh, we missed you so much.
Suddenly, she seems to notice the rest of us. She quickly lets Amelia go and ushers us all inside.
Amy, did you bring friends? Come in, come in.
We murmur our thanks as we shuffle into the house. The walls are painted with light colors, giving the house a bright and cheerful air. We convene in the sitting room, where we sit on the couch and chairs. The upholstery is clean, but it has definitely seen a lot of use. Amelia's father arrives. He pushes his glasses back up onto his nose and breaks into a wide smile. He also scoops Amelia into his arms.
What an unexpected pleasure.
After he sets her down, he stands beside his wife.
Hello, Mother. Father.
You know that we love seeing you, but what are you doing out at the university? It isn't a holiday.
Her mother leans forward in her seat.
Oh, was your little field study finally approved? That's wonderful. Remember what I said about how each rejection is just one step closer to success.
The other one besides you three is
Even if it took
me.
all those tries and applications.
I'm watching through my laptop to make sure you guys are actually seeing the stream properly as it comes through. Yeah, there are 4. I'm the 4th one. I'm logged in on 2 locations. I'm logged in on my console, and I'm logged in actually on the front end as well, what you guys are seeing. All those tries, how many times did she apply? Although Amelia doesn't speak, her cheeks turn red.
Honey, let's not embarrass her in front of her peers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got so excited. She's been trying for almost a year now.
Those aren't ears. I think those are like little cloths. You know when you do You're not a girl, but when us girls do ponytails, sometimes we use ribbons, and the ribbons kind of make Yes, us girls can be weird, but we are also cute, we are adorable, and everyone loves us. Especially me, the sassy Kincha! She turns excitedly towards Leanna.
You must be the field lead.
Leanna looks bewildered.
Yes, that is correct.
Leanna shoots Amelia a questioning glance, which Amelia ignores. Her parents beam wider as they look at their daughter with pride. Her mom has her hand over her heart, and her dad nods approvingly.
It's nice to see you're still working hard at your studies.
We're very proud of you, sweetie. But what sort of mission is this? I should think you would be the apprentice of another mage or a mage caster, rather than a mage knight.
Leanna is part of the Mage Guild.
So it's an internship with the Mage Guild? That's very prestigious.
He puffs with pride.
I see.
Her mother's face softens as she addresses Leanna.
We entrust our daughter to you. Please take good care of her.
Leanna pauses, but she looks at the hopefulness on Amelia's parents' face, and she returns their smile.
I promise I will.
Once the attention drifts away from her, I notice her gaze linger on Amelia's parents. She furrows her brow in pensive thought.
And what about the rest of you?
Kara grins.
I assist with locating and exploring ancient sites.
The parents seemed intrigued.
We have been following instances of magical anomalies in an attempt to understand and explain their occurrences.
Of course, of course.
His gaze lands on Zach.
You look more like a fighter rather than a mage.
Zach nods.
What exactly is your role in this group?
Before Zach responds, Kara steps in.
Oh, he's my companion. He helps me secure our sites and, well...
She grabs his arm and flashes him a coy smile. Zach stares at Kara and her hand grips... and her hand... Ah! God damn it! Ah, I got tongue-tied there for a second. God damn it. I can't speak. That's going in the blooper reel. She grabs his arm and flashes him a coy smile. Zach stares at Kara and her hand on his arm.
Hands off.
She laughs lightly and presses herself closer to him.
Oh, you don't need to be shy. Just pretend it's just you and me.
Zach's scowl deepens as he twists himself away from her. A blush tings his cheeks. Amelia's dad chuckles.
Say no more. I remember what it was like to be young.
Zach's blush deepens. Kara watches his discomfort with amusement. Finally, his gaze lands on May.
And what about you?
I'm a student. I'm actually the hired muscle. I'm May. Should we piss off Zach and go with B? I'm actually the hired muscle. Piss Zach off. Come on. Are we going with C with me, or piss Zach off and saying I'm the hired muscle? B. Okay. I shift to draw attention to my sword. I'm here to protect.
Oh,
They glance at me in surprise and then look at Zach before looking back at May.
well, I hope you keep everyone safe.
I will.
Amy, will you and your friends stay for dinner?
We would not wish to impose upon you any further. We can return to the inn.
The inn? Oh, nonsense. You can all stay here for the night. We certainly have enough room.
Yes, we insist. I'll get started on dinner and afterwards you can all relax. Come with me, Amy.
If that is what you wish.
Amelia obliges as they start towards the kitchen.
That's wonderful. It's so nice to have you home. And we never get to meet any of your friends. In fact, you're all the first one she's brought home.
Really?
Kara glances sideways at Amelia, who remains stoic.
I hope she's not giving you any trouble. She's always been a bit hot-blooded.
And this time we all look at Amelia.
Are you sure we're talking about the same person?
She laughs and the two of them head into the kitchen. We continue to chat as we wait for dinner to be ready. Her father is enthusiastic and shares fun facts about the town. He's a tailor and offers to patch up any clothes for us. Dinner is a simple but delicious meal, and we all clean our plates. Amelia's mom seems pleased.
Would anyone care for seconds?
I have to admit, for being in this time period, this is a real nice house. Just look at the detail. I mean, just look at the details. It makes you want to live in this type of an era.
Where does it all go?
Oh wait, I missed something. Both Leanna and Zach take a second helping. Leanna piles her plate up with food until it's even fuller than Zach's plate. As she digs in, Kara watches enviously.
Where does it all go?
She looks at Kara questioningly.
You have such a healthy appetite, yet you're still so slim.
This has the potential to go horribly wrong. Contrary to my fears, Leanna smiles coyly.
Oh, you think so? I'm just lucky, I guess.
Rather than luck, I would attribute it to the constant wind resistance you admit during your travels and activities.
Leanna looks surprised and nervous.
What?
Amelia raises an eyebrow.
I can detect a constant energy utilization from your manipulator, which is creating wind friction.
Leanna interrupts with a loud laughter, but her face is bright red.
You're thinking way too much into this, Amelia. It's probably just, magic residue you're detecting.
Amelia gives Leanna an unimpressed look, as if to say that was the silliest excuse she's heard. That's smart. Do me. I do it. What do we pick? I don't understand what the response. What are we gonna do, guys? We got 1B. We got 2B. We got 3B. I catch Leanna's eye and whisper, "Hey, can you wind resistance magic me too?"
It's just residue.
Kara smiles.
So that's your secret.
Leanna nervously picks out her food.
Anyway, this is really, really good. What is it?
With the change of subject, the mood relaxes and the conversation naturally flows. Zach and Amelia's dad found a common interest. Although he's a tailor, he takes a special interest in restoring weapons.
Actually, weapons are a specialty of mine too.
Your dischargers, I did notice that. They're a bit unusual, aren't they? I haven't seen too many with those types of crystals.
It served me well.
Amelia's dad pauses as he observes Zach.
Come on, son, lighten up a bit. No need to be so formal here.
What is sleep? Sleep is for the weak. And you are weak for needing sleep. What? I'm sorry. I saw that on the Discord and I'm like, what? No, I'm streaming. Why aren't you here in the stream? Because you're a pleb, that's why. Okay, back to the show.
Why don't you try cracking a smile? You don't have to look so doom and gloom all the time.
Zach meekly stares at him until Kara elbows him.
Oh, come on, companion. You don't want to be rude, do you? Especially after you've already helped yourself to this delicious meal. Twice.
Oh, she's got him whipped. Zach sighs in resignation. He pauses and seems to collect himself. Kara watches, amused at his display. After taking a few long breaths, he looks up with determination. Reluctantly, he curls up the corners of his lips and exposes his teeth on an awkward grimace smile hybrid. Ah! Oh, wow. His eyes almost seem to be calling for help. As if holding his smile is causing him pain. Everyone recoils from his look. Except for Kara, who blushes.
Oh, wow, that's really hot.
God damn it! Fuck this! I'm done! Will exchanged confused look as Zach drops his smile. Kara leans over to him and lowers her voice.
I hope we get to see that again. Soon.
Oh dear. We all look at each other in confusion.
Well then, that was certainly interesting.
The group laughs and the conversation flows again. Kara enjoyed every minute of the night, chatting amicably with Amelia's mother. Leanna stayed quiet and spent most of her time just observing. Although she had a smile on her face, it seemed like there was something else on her mind. Amelia didn't talk much, preferring to let her parents do the talking, but she seemed very comfortable and relaxed. I can tell that even though they don't get to see each other very often, they have a good relationship. Once dinner was over, Amelia's parents insisted on washing up and asked Amelia to show us to our rooms. She leads us to the back of the house where there are 2 rooms and pauses in front of the first door.
This is my childhood room. We 3 will share this room.
She points to the door down the hall.
That is the spare room. You 2 may stay there.
Are you certain it's alright for us to stay tonight? I don't want to cause any trouble for your parents.
Zach almost murdered
They've
us
already
with
been
that
so
smile.
accommodating.
My parents are quite happy to receive guests. It would be an insult to refuse their invitation.
Okay.
Leanna seems uncertain, but Kara throws her arm around her affectionately.
Don't worry, tonight will be super fun. We'll braid each other's hair, play truth or dare, and of course, pillow fights.
Amelia cocks her head to the side.
Is that what roommates do?
Definitely.
Amelia looks at Leanna, who seems equally confused.
While we roomed together previously, we did not accomplish any of these tasks.
I'm just learning about this now, too.
Trust me, you'll love what I have planned.
Kara laughs and pushes the girls into the room. She winks at us.
Girls only.
Why do I always get the feeling we're missing out?
Because we probably are.
A shriek of laughter filters through the doorway, followed by giggles.
Oh my god, don't squirm so much! Stop! I'm really ticklish there! I got it off. Hey, give it back!
We overhear even more squeals and giggles. My mind wanders as my imagination points to an alluring picture of what's going on behind that door. Zach's stoic stare seems too intense.
Stop! No way. Well, if that's how you want to play. What? No fair, you're using magic.
After Kara yelps, Zach's stony expression finally cracks.
What is going on in there?
Don't think about this anymore. Wait for me, or they're just messing with us. We got a B, we got a C, we got a B, we got 2 B's, we got 3 B's, we got everyone saying B, okay. There's no way I'm gonna miss out on this. I reach for the door and turn the knob, but it's locked tight. Another fit of laughter floats in the air. I stare longingly at the closed door, wishing with all my might I could make it disappear. Damn. I glance down on my feet and see the Pongo staring forlornly at the door. You wish you were in there too? He hops closer to the door.
Boy, boy.
When no one lets him in, he lowers his head.
Boy.
I'm sorry, buddy, but it's girls only tonight. As if on cue, the door cracks open. Amelia's pigtails peek out as she reaches for the pongo.
There you are. You are needed
Oh,
for
come on!
science.
Poi poi.
The last thing I see is the pongo's wide grin at the door slammed shut behind him. Zach sighs.
Let's just go.
Zach heads into the room and I follow. We mill about the room awkwardly, and I swear I can hear the seconds tick by. This feels a lot less exciting than in the other room. Let's have a pillow fight or just go to sleep. A or B? Just go to sleep, or do we have a pillow fight? We got 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B. Okay. We don't need them. We can have our own pillow fight. I grab the pillow off the bed and heartily whack Zach with it. Zach stares at me and crosses his arms. I try another half-hearted whack, but Zach just continues unwavering. Yeah, never mind. We both get ready for bed instead. As I crawl into the bed, I count the seconds before exhaustion finally hits me, and I fall asleep. A noise wakes me up and I sit up in bed. The moon is high in the sky, casting silver light through the window. Zach remains fast asleep. I don't see anything else, so I lay back down and close my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. Instead, I toss and turn on my bed as uneasy thoughts creep in. I try to clear my mind, but as soon as I begin to lose concentration, wiggles of doubt worm into my brain. What if I never learn how to cast? What if I can't gather enough energy? What if this energy kills me? What if I can't go home? And as that last thought crosses my mind, I throw off my blankets in frustration. I need some fresh air. Tiptoeing past sleeping Zach, I creep out of the room and fumble my way towards the dark living room. I recognize Leanna leaning on the balcony. I head over towards her. She smiles at me as I approach. Couldn't sleep? She nods. It did sound like you girls were having a lot of fun. Leanna blushes.
Kara got my boot off, so I was only returning the favor.
We smile as the conversation lapses. She looks towards the stars, staring pensively at them. There must be something on her mind. Want to talk about it? It seems like there's something on your mind. Leanna faces me and absentmindedly picks at her clothes.
It's nothing, really. Tonight has been really fun, and Amelia's parents are so nice. It just started to remind me of my family. And then I got thinking.
And you couldn't stop thinking. She nods. I look up at the Mirada sparkling light in the deep night sky. The stars are still beautiful, but not as clear as when we were camping. We fall into a comfortable silence. Leanna stares intently at the sky as if searching for answers. I wonder what's on her mind. Suddenly, she turns to me.
I promise we'll help you find a way home.
I'm surprised at the conviction in her voice. Oh, thanks. Actually, there's something I've been wondering.
What is it?
I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but why are you doing so much to help a stranger? Leanna stares incomprehensibly.
You were someone who needed help.
Yeah, but you didn't know who I was. What if I had other intentions?
Then I suppose things would have turned out differently.
She notices my look and chuckles.
I would never leave someone who needed help. Especially if it was in my power to help them. I'm sure if it were me in that position, you'd have done the same.
Of course, you're so naive, or let her think what she wants. Got 1A. Got 2 A's. A it is. You're right, I'm not one to walk away from someone who needs help. Leanna smiles. Still, I wonder why she suddenly promised to help me find a way back home. What brought that on?
Sorry, I've just been thinking about home, and how it would feel if I looked at the stars and couldn't recognize a single one.
I can understand how being with Amelia's family can make her homesick. I've been thinking of home too. Maybe I can take her mind off of things for a while. What's that star?
Huh?
She blinks as she takes in my question, then looks back up towards the sky.
Which one?
Point to the brightest star in the sky. Point to the one that looks like a lady. Point to a random cluster. We got 2 A's. We got A's. I point to the brightest star in the sky. Leanna grins.
That's the compass arrow. If you're ever lost, you can use the compass arrow to guide you, as it always points towards north.
Hey, it's our North Star! Woo! Huh, yeah, wow. I should have seen that coming. Just like our North Star.
You have a compass arrow too?
I nod. It's part of a larger constellation, though.
The compass arrow is called that because the stars surrounding it point to each direction, like on a compass.
Well, thanks to you, I can now look up at the sky and recognize at least one star. Leanna grins. She points to a cluster of stars which vaguely look like a woman.
Do you see those stars?
Yeah.
That's my birth sign, Elwina. She was renowned for her beauty, and that beauty was immortalized in the stars.
Birth sign?
Yeah. There's a belief that the star sign under which you are born can tell certain traits about yourself. Sometimes people use it to predict matches or fortunes.
Oh, like our zodiac constellations. We have a similar belief back home. So what does your birth sign say about you?
What do you think?
You're patient and trusting. You're into mysterious yet handsome strangers. You're gullible or you're beautiful. D, we got 1 D. We got 2 Ds saying D is probably best. She was a woman renowned for her beauty, huh? I look at Leanna again and how the silver moonlight surrounds her like a halo. She almost glows as brightly as the stars. That looks accurate to me. Leanna at first looks surprised, then a gentle blush tingles her cheeks.
I meant personality traits.
Oh. She smiles, and this time it looks more natural.
Hopefully this place doesn't feel so lonely and foreign to you anymore.
No, but only because I got the chance to meet you and the rest of our team. We lock gaze and I feel inexplicably drawn to her. Leanna lights up as she sees something behind me.
Look, a shooting star!
The star rockets across the sky, leaving a trail of glitter. Quick, make a wish! She closes her eyes. After a moment, she reopens them.
What did you wish for?
A, to go home soon. B, to spend more time with you. Or C, it's a secret. We got 1 B, we got 2 B's. I wish that we could spend more time together. She's surprised.
You didn't wish to go home?
I know that eventually you'll help me find a way back home, but in the meantime, it's really not so bad being stuck on a new planet with someone like you. She blushes. So what did you wish for?
Oh, I wish to continue going on adventures.
I grin. It's fine with me. As long as I don't have to watch you attempt to flirt again. Leanna's face flushes.
That's not fair. I was put on the spot.
I laugh. Isn't that how all flirting works? Leanna pouts.
No, it would have been a lot different if I were more prepared.
Oh, yeah? How would you have done it then?
That's still putting me on the spot, but...
She blushes again.
Well...
She lowers her eyes to compose herself, then flashes me a confident look.
Let's see. First, I'd begin by telling him how handsome he looks tonight. Maybe then I'd compliment his muscles, which would give me an excuse to touch them.
Her hand lightly rubs on my arm as she gives me a look of appreciation. Although her cheeks are still burning, this is nothing like the awkward Leanna from before.
I'd step closer to him.
My head quickens as she closes the distance.
Then I'd have him hold me like this.
She guides my hands with hers and places them on her hips. I resist letting my hands wander. She snakes her arms around my neck.
And then...
I can feel her breath on my lips. She leans in until her full lips are an inch away from my own.
Say...
I close my eyes and I feel her lean into me. Her breath teases me as she stays out of my reach.
Good night.
Wait, what? I open my eyes just as Leanna disengages from me. More please, or what just happened? A or B? B. B. Yeah, B. Hold on a second, that can't be it. I try to reach for her, but she nimbly steps away.
That's it.
Don't leave me hanging! She looks back at me and grins.
It's getting late. Good night. I'll see you in the morning.
Kevin just got blue-balled. Good night. She disappeared from view, and I'm left in desperate need of a cold shower, wondering what the hell just happened. I return to my room and crawl back into bed. My mind is filled with even more thoughts and questions from before. Eventually, after many thoughts of cold showers, I drift to sleep. And that is the end of this episode. As well, this is going the end of the stream. We've been streaming for a little bit over 2 hours. So we are going to... This is a good place to cut it for the night. And I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, being at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully see you guys, see you tomorrow for part 5, where whatever happens, happens. I'm Kincha. Please tell your friends about the stream. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like. I'm not going to tell you to leave subscribe if you don't want to, or like if you don't want to, because that's completely up to you, and I'm not a complete ass about it. It curses. But hopefully I like to see some more friends, and you guys have a great evening. Good night, everyone.